What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice shortcut to pretzel rocks. Hello and greetings, everybody. Hope that was somewhat enjoyable. We are here on Friday. Hope everyone is having a good day. We are going to be tackling a listener today. This is 4720 from, I believe, August. Let me just take a quick check on that. Nope, sorry, July 15th. Somebody told me that they were really looking forward. Good morning, Hologro. Uh, they were really looking forward to a specific cryptic, and I forgot which one it was. I want to say it was 4725, which just simply has the puzzle of Carte Blanche by Piccadilly. Um, but I couldn't find that comment anywhere. So I decided I'm just going to go in regular order. I was thinking about pulling that one up specifically, jumping ahead to it so that that person wouldn't have to wait. But I'm gonna keep an order here. Good morning, Shanahan. Uh, I'm not going to delay too much. I'm expecting landscapers at some point to interrupt these whole proceedings, which will be fun, obviously, and then we'll figure it out from there. Let's go. Let's go with the. I'm going to start by reading the preamble, and then after the preamble, I'll go through the across clues and then the down clues. As usual, if you think that you know the answer to a clue, just type G in the chat along with the clue number, and I may decide to ask for a hint. If you are looking ahead and you say, oh, I know the answer to 39 down, you're looking at the wrong puzzle because there is no 39 down in this puzzle. But nonetheless, try not to look ahead and don't post that you've got like the clue that's we haven't even gotten to yet. There is a most likely a theme to this puzzle, so if you think that you figure out the theme, you can type G theme. Just keep in mind, I'm usually don't look for the theme until we're about halfway through, but sometimes that varies. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully everything looks good on screen. There's one down clue that is cut off. There's just no way to get them all up on the screen. So that is unfortunate, but we'll get to that one at the end. Let's go ahead and get started. 4720, Mute Stop by Llig, Gil Backwards. 8 clues consist of wordplay only for answers that comprise a set of 6 thematic components, ignoring definite articles. Answers to 2 other clues indicate the theme. In each row and column, the wordplay for one of the remaining clues leads to the answer with an extra letter that is not entered in the grid. These red letters by row and column spell the name of the 2 thematic perpetrators. The Chambers Dictionary, 2016 is primary, and 30 is the Oxford. All right, so presumably these 6 answers, like 2 of them are going to be like, let's say if the category were Trivial Pursuit categories, you might have arts and leisure as 2 separate answers. Same with arts and literature and sports and leisure as 2 separate answers. And then geography, entertainment, but then you'd also have science and nature, and then what? History. History was the other original one. All right, that having been said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, stewed lamb has added relish. Stewed lamb has added relish. I feel like stewed here is an indication of an anagram. I'm sorry, the answer is the moops. I'm not sure what moops are. Let's see. Also, I figure mute stop might be an anagram of whatever the theme is. So, stump toe. Ah, got it. Okay. All right. Stewed lamb has. I feel like this is going to have. I mean, masala is kind of a relish, but that wouldn't work with this. All right. Let's go to Chambers. I'm just going to look up balsam. I'm not going to look up. I'm not going to do much in the way of looking things up. All right, yeah, I'm not seeing a relish as balsam. I'm going to go to the next one, I think. And it's worth noting that out of each pair of clues, there will be one with an extra letter. What I like about that is, the possibility of lamb has as the anagram. So that would give us the extra letter. So, supervisor's short duet reflecting a new number. Supervisor's short duet reflecting a new number. So I feel like a new number would be ANN, and we're going to reverse that. I mean, I don't think it'd be duenna, but I'm going to check to see if that is an actual word in Chambers. Duenna is in the dictionary, and it is a lady who watches over or chaperones a younger lady. Duenna is exactly it. So that is a normal clue, which means the other one does have the extra letter to it. All right. Elgar say more enigmatic about a rearranged set. This feels to me like it could be one of 2 things. It could either be an anagram of more around an anagrammed set. It could be a word meaning more enigmatic, like otter. It'd have to be a 5, and this would give us the extra letter. Where was Elgar from? I feel like that's. I mean, Elgar's marbles. No, those are Elgin marbles. I do. My brain work heavy today. Let's see. He was a baronet, believe it or not. He was a composer. He was a sir. Described as the first composer to take the gramophone seriously. I don't know. I think these wax records are gonna be around to stay for a little while. I don't know. I think they might be. You know what? No. Worth a bet. Worth a bet. All right. I'm not finding anything about Elgar. Oh, Rain's got 10. Elgar say more enigmatic about. Oh, Maestro. How about Maestro? Yeah, because the A there is not just simply sitting there going like, "Hey, I'm just a casual word. Don't pay any attention to me." It is an actual. I think we actually need that. So we're gonna have an extra E here, and this is gonna be an odd one. So let's go ahead and make this bad. Yes, he did. He wrote the Enigma Variations. All right, soprano, thanks to Schubert's catalog, joins tenor. So we've already got a bit of a musical theme going on here. All right. I feel like this might actually be one of our one of our unusual clues, like wordplay only. Soprano is S, tenor is T. Thanks to Schubert's catalog. I mean, thanks could be just TA. I don't think that there's something unusual. I mean, I'm not sure if there's something unusual about Schubert's catalog that would lead to a specific definition. I'm wondering if maybe like there's some way that they're using um, catalog here to indicate like a first letter or last letter. Yeah, I'm not finding thanks to Schubert's catalog giving anything. All right, I'm gonna go to the next one. I think Indian trees bearing money. A Indian trees bearing money. A. So bearing here could be a direction. It could be like oh, Schubert's thematic catalog. Thank you, Arch Davidson. Let's take a look. Do, 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 do. Reading this really quick so you're not bored by just some guy staring at the screen. So maybe it's Stod's, because Schubert's catalog seems to use D. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's, but then that's Stod, which would be kind of weird, but is legitimate. Like that's legitimately a thing. It's like, yeah, German for city. I think I'm going to go with Stott. I'm going to say that this is wordplay only. So we'll use the neutral cluing. And again, go back to Indian trees bearing money A. And I'm not sure what this one might be. Again, I think it's going to be like a direction, then something short for money, then A, and we're going to get an extra letter out of that. But I want that to be plural, and I is not going to get me a plural. A on its own could be a plural, but all right. One assumes literary style not restricted. One assumes literary style not restricted. So I feel like this is going to be, I want this to be literary style, word meaning that, like say genre. And then we're going to take out the letter R. So we'd have like Gene. One assumes would probably be our definition, one assumes. Uh, but it could be in a different sense. Like if you're assuming something, you're gathering it, you're bringing it into yourself. Maybe we'd want a 7 or 8 letter literary style Romance comes to mind. Western, mystery. Could also be lit genre, like lit for literary, and then style is just genre. And then we are still taking out the R, so that's going to be lit gene. And maybe Lygene is one who assumes. The same way that like a Lieni is, or a Leonore. Uh, no, that's not it. Okay. Maybe Lytine? I see Lytine being a word. Lytine is not a word. Okay. I'm going to move on. Old livestock being does. Being does. Being does. Maybe. Either way. So old here is probably just an archaic word for whatever the livestock is. Um, I kind of want being to be S, E-S-S-E. But then how would the does work? I mean, does could be does could be does. Right cryptic clues, Yoda does, yes. Um, I'd really like it to be just ESE, but I don't think that's going to work. Because then we can just take off the last E and then we're good. I'm going to go to the next one, I think. Solo, alto, traveled, taking in Italy. Solo, alto, traveled, taking in Italy. So Italy here is I, and then traveled could be an in. Oof. I feel like this is trying to clue Aryan, which would not be good. Aria, it's cluing Aria. It's alto is A, traveled is ran, taking an I is so we are looking at some. I feel like we are definitely looking at something um, classical. Like this is a classical music puzzle of some sort, which would make sense with mute style. But aria is going to be the answer here because that is a solo. Hats off, no stress with trombones intro. Hats off, no stress with trombones intro. I think this is Stetson, but Stetson's only 7. Kind of want it to be an anagram of no stress plus a T. Oh, it's hat, so it's plural, so it's Stetsons. So that is an R. Henry, it looks like it's going to spell out in for this clue. For the rose, I should say. Chiefs struggling to rule. Chiefs struggling to rule. Struggling is a good anagram indicator. Neither of these are long enough, however, to make that work. I could see it being strain, S-T-R-E-I-G-N. I don't think that's a word, but you never know. You never know. Let's try German. Let's try German again. Strain is not a word in German. But basically, it would be the first letters of struggling to and then a word meaning rule. I mean, rule could be res. Like I feel like res is a word that can mean rule. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. It's getting too warm in here. Had it on 68. Good lord. I should probably also make sure it's in the. Yeah, it's selected. All right, I'm moving on to the next one. 2 notes during solely over flat stretches. 2 notes over during solely over flat stretches. So I feel like what this is we're going to take 2 notes, we're going to add that into SOLI, and then we're going to reverse the whole thing, and then we're going to get words meaning flat stretches. Having said that, like filios, bilbos, I like bilbos. Bilbo is a rapier or sword, aside from being a character in The Hobbit. That's the way it is. Sometimes you get this word that just starts popping up all over the place. but I'm not seeing this one. I'm pretty sure that's how the clue is going to work. I just don't know what exactly we're getting. I'm going to go on to 26. Q4 confused Basque constitution. Now I want this to be an anagram of Q4, um, and I think force would work, except it would have to be something specifically Basque constitution. So like there'd have to be something in here that specifically made it that. I also know that I want this to be Henry. Uh, so one of these two should have given me a Y. Could also be something else here. Like it might not be Henry. But then I don't know what would come after that, like Henry Houdini, something. They have to be classical, so probably one of the kings. Um, like Henry VIII would work. But then you'd have an extra T here, and then that would not work. If it were extra E, and we'd be looking at Krauf, maybe. Nope, nothing along those lines. Let's see, Fuero. Fuero is a code of or a body of law or privileges, especially in the Basque provinces and a constitution. So it's C is the extra letter here. And I'm sorry for the sniffling. I don't know why I'm congested today. Fuero is our answer. Banish from former French Isle. I'm going to make this one a social. I feel like that we've not had a social in a while, and I think this is very gettable. So take a look at the clue, take a look at it, see if you can figure it out. Once you know it, just type G in the chat. Sean's got it, and I think once we have 3 people who get it, we're going to go ahead and reveal. Good morning, Akila. And Arch Davidson's got it, T. McKay's got it, Rain's got it, and hello to T. McKay. You kind of said the answer when did I say the answer when reading? Did I say it out? I do that sometimes. Like if I know the answer as I'm reading it, I will sometimes say it by accident. So go ahead and type it in if you got it. But I apologize if I. Oh, I said isle. I thought I said island. But yeah, hologram missed it. Okay. But yeah, it's former is X and French island is Isle, ILE. So that's going to give you exile, which is of course banish from. All right. Loudening, coarse, high pitched sound. Good enough. Good enough. So loudening, I kind of want that to be F. Also, it would go really well under this F here. Um, like coarse could be rough, and maybe fro is a word. You probably would have heard of fro or frau. It's a high pitched sound. Also, I don't think you'd. So, sound wise, I don't feel like you would ever take Froud or Frug or Frough. I don't think there's any way to pronounce it that would evoke the concept of a high pitched sound. I think high pitched sound you got to kind of have some S's in there, maybe some I sounds. Froey is a word, by the way. Um, I'm gonna just put that up on the screen there. It's rancid in Shakespeare, and I feel like now I want to do a flat that combines froey and froyo. All right. Wouldn't simply be a last sound change because yo is actually technically 2 sounds. All right. Still not seeing the actual answer. I think it is going to be F plus a word for coarse, and then that's going to give us high pitched sound, like my mouth is doing right now with the congestion. Really hitting those S's hard. 33 disorderly kitchen, lacking equipment. So equipment can be kit. I like the idea of kitchen lacking equipment for Chen. And disorderly could be mad. I wonder if madchen is what we're looking for here as one of the things being stolen. Sorry, just taking a moment here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's madchen, and I think I have what this is all referring to. All right. So I'm going to put in madchen. This is a, and this is not something I would have gotten without any sort of Googling. I do think that Joshua Cosman, aka Trazom from the NPL, would really enjoy this puzzle. And that's all I'll say about that. Okay, tenor leaving cheap seats, spoiled marine view. That is seascape, and we're left with an extra H. That is cheap seats minus T for tenor, which I think is the second time it's been used like that. And then spoiled is our anagram indicator. Missing a bar between X and C. We are, yes. Good catch there, Rain. There we go. Sturgeon Shades member most often appearing in Holyrood. What did I type in wrong? Oh, C-shape. That's good. Thank you. Sturgeon Shades member most often appearing in Holyrood. So the thing that's most often appearing in Holyrood is O. Um, I don't know if that's really going to work though. I think we are looking for. I think we're looking for a sturgeon, and then shades is going to be, I think, a four-letter word here, and then we're going to go with losing a letter, and I want it to be like Hesso, Heso, and for shades to be hues. Nope, that is not it. All right, so probably incorrect there. Let me go ahead with the next one. 40 is monkey about with zero projection. Monkey about with zero projection. About could be an indicator here, anagram indicator. It could be a reversal as well. O is most likely going to be the last letter. Oh, Arch Jameson's got 39. We'll back up to that in just a moment since we're still relatively close to it. Monkey about with zero projection. I want projection to be the def. Zero could also be nil, zip. And there's a lot of different monkeys out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be monkey. Good morning, GM Rubix. All right, Arch, what do you have as the first letter of 39 across? While I'm doing that, I'm going to make an adjustment here in the page so I can get a little extra space. If I had $1,000,000. Nice reference there. Yes, that is because this is a very British puzzle. This is about as British a puzzle as you can get. This is called The Listener, and it is pretty much just one of the toughest cryptics out there. 39 does start with H. Maybe it's Huso? It's going to start H. If it starts H, I think it's going to end with O. But I would have liked Huso. Christ. Had I not been so headstrong on the U coming out, or the E coming out, or the U coming out, I would have. Yeah, I tried one of the possibilities, but not the other, and turned out the other one was correct. So shades are hues, and member most often appearing in Holyrood is O, so that's Huso. And then that is a red clue. All right. Harlequin song, a contralto ruined. Harlequin song, a contralto ruined. I'm assuming that we're going to need an abbreviation for contralto, but I actually don't know if contralto is an indicate, like if it would be abbreviated C or something else. So the green clues are normal. Red has an extra letter that appears in the wordplay, and then we need to track that going row by row and column by column. And then finally, the yellow clues are are wordplay only. They are six. The 8 entries represent 6 members of a set, and I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but I do have the actual body of work in question here, and I know the other 8 entries. Harlequin song, a contralto ruined. I'm not seeing that. I'm pretty sure Harlequin song is probably going to be our definition, and then a contralto ruined is going to be our wordplay. It's a charade as opposed to an anagram. Ancient dispatch vessel, abandoning navy, a revelation. So I think here a revelation is going to be our answer. And we're looking for an archaic dispatch vessel, and we're going to get rid of the letter N from it. Having said all that, I have no idea what any of these words, either of the words, are going to be, so moving on. All right, American annoys Rosalind over nothing. First letters of which spell Aaron. That's clearly the answer. American annoys Rosalind over nothing. So I want, oops, sorry. I want nothing to be O and Rosalind to go around it. And then I want it to be a word that is annoys, but specifically the American spelling of it. But I'm not sure what that might be. Certain works of art shown in Basel Manet retrospective, and that is a nice, straightforward one. That is going to be enamels, which can be found backwards in Basel Monet. Basel Manet. Soul captivates me with little resistance. Soul captivates me with little resistance. I feel like this is going to be like a 3-letter word for soul around me. This could also be like a reference to the fact that the author of the puzzle is Llig. Um, but then we're also going to throw an L on the end of it. I'm going to take a quick look at the other words that I'm expecting for this. Okay. All right, I'm not seeing it. I'm going to keep going kind of aggressively through these so that we all A, start doing the down clues where we have crossings, and B, because I've already figured out the theme and now I just kind of want to go whole hog. Self-confidence returns to orchestra. It's fiercely aggressive. So I think this is going to be a musical term for fiercely aggressive for an orchestra. Self-confidence is it's either ego or I, but then I'm not sure the actual music term here. Musical terms, fiercely aggressive. You should probably just look up aggressive. Bellicoso. Not seeing it, unfortunately. All right, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm just completely wrong. I do want it to be a musical term, and I cannot figure out what it might be. Like poise, and then no, two has to be. So if orchestra is part of the definition, so is two. It's going to be like two orchestra. It's fiercely aggressive, or it's going to cut off after orchestra. Like it can't cut off in between. So I was thinking that the two could be part of the wordplay. That was just foolishness. All right. One, move with grace and endless ostentation. Move with grace and endless ostentation. So I think we're looking for a word that is like a 6 or 7 letter word for ostentation. That means, and then we're going to take out the outer letters and we're going to get move with grace. The only thing I can think of for move with grace is plie, and I know that that's not going to be correct. I'm going to go on to the next one. Uneasiness as alternative alias divides us. Uneasiness as alternative alias divides us. So I want us to be we. And then maybe put S like as just as is. So WAS. And then like another word for alias. I don't know. I feel like I'm just bouncing around here completely stupidly with this particular one. Akila's got it. So wastage is not it. It's loss by use or natural decay, useless or unprofitable spending, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's definitely not that. Uh, Aquila is us, we. Us is not we. That's good to know. Alternative could be just the alternate letters of, like, I want malaise. I want this to be malaise, right? Because that's uneasiness. We are looking at two down. Should be at the top of the screen. I set it up so that the top of the screen would have the current clue. Alternative alias is either. I mean, I hate to think that this is an N. Like, I hate to think that we're actually getting an N as extra, and then it's the anagram of alias inside men. It could be the French word for us, which is no, that's a no throw. That's not it. I am curious about this. I don't think. What am I missing? Akila, do you have malaise? I'm just going to ask that. So alternative alias could also be AIS. It's the alternative letters of alias. Are you getting an extra letter for this one? So is it just alias inside me? I'm having a hard time parsing the clue. Oh, royal we. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. I'm not a fan of that clue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lig. I'm just not a fan of it. Three, attend special bashes. Attend special bashes. Okay, got this one. Yeah, this is actually I like this one I like. So I didn't like two, but I do like three. It's to attend is be at, special is S, and so attend special bashes is be at S or beats. And it's simple. It's very very simple, but I kind of like the way that that uses both beat as be at and beat. For Foray, enough time advantage. I want this to be asset. And I'm wondering if we have a special word here, if there's something for an extra letter, like it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, and it's not that. Okay. I want it to be asset, but I can't quite figure out what it might be. So I think I'm going to hold off on it. It definitely works with the idea that the one across is going to be an anagram of lamb has minus. And I now know what the extra. Oh, I know what that is. That's some ball. That's a relish. How did I miss that? Oh, this is not going to be gettable G4. All right, good. Excellent. That's what I love to hear. So this is going to be H. I'm just going to go ahead and say what this is related to now. Um, so there is something called the Schwanensong, which is Franz Schubert's Swan Song, a collection of 14 songs written by Franz Schubert at the end of his life and published posthumously. Put that in here. Can't do that to insert. There we go. Go ahead and bold that. Uh, and then they are related to poems by two people. One was Ludwig Rellstab, and I think that's going to be what we're going to get for the columns going down. And then poems by Heinrich Heine, and I believe that's what the columns are going to be. So I'm pretty sure that what we have here is going to be Henric. We're going to get an I here somewhere, and then INE down here. The columns I still don't know. There's also some poems by Johann Gabriel Seti, or there's one. The poems by Henrik Heine, uh, and this might not be the case, but who knows? We have the poems here are going to be the entries here. So Atlas is going to be one of them, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to be it right there. Bild is Bild. It's actually Irbild. Then there's Das Fischermatchen. So we're going to have Matchen, which we had here, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be that Fischer is going to pop in somewhere here as a seven letter. Stadt, which we had. Um, Am Meer, which is by the sea, and Doppelganger, which is going to be somewhere in here. It could be that the other ones are going to be related to the poems by Ludwig Rellstab, but these do seem to at least be the ones that are by Henrik Heine. So, and I know a fair amount of that is spoilery. I hope that's okay, but I wanted to go ahead and get that out there. Not quite, not quite Henry, right? All right. So where were we? So we were on four for a enough time advantage, and then Rain said that it was not going to be gettable. Let's see. First of all, Faure. I mean, that is a French person, right? French composer. Okay. French word for enough is, I should know this one, assez. And then time advantage. So this is going, yeah, it's asset with an extra T, or extra Z, I should say. So, and this one's going to be, it's going to be Franz Schubert going down, is what it's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in one more. I'm going to make this a little bit longer. I used to know my French. I used to know my French a lot better than I do now. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put in Franz Schubert here. So we have these available. And I'm not going to worry too much about putting them here in the columns, just simply because we already have them over here. But that's going to be Henrik Heine down here. All right, now, we got that. There was an extra Z there. Okay. Containers for ash, dog, non-smoker. Containers for ash. I want that to be urns. Dog, non-smoker. Non-smoker, I think, is just going to be NS, right? So yeah, it's going to be cur. That's going to be one of our special ones. Now that we know the letters, it should be a lot easier to get the downs. Perform very softly bass line. Dulcet. Kind of want that to be dulcet. Perform is due. Doppel. It's doppel. This is one of our thematic clues. Ignoring French articles, Beatles playing around noon, they could be warming up. Etnas. And then this is going to have an extra B. Art neon colored, a lakeside find? Question mark. Um, kind of want it to be narrow, but I don't see how that would be it. Also, that really would not work with the crossings. Um, let's move that out of the way. It could be an anagram of art neon, in which case we'd have an extra E. So it'd be natron? I guess natron would be it. Can you hear the baby in the background? Natron is a yeah, hydrated carbonate of sodium found on some lake borders. So natron. And that is extra. So we're going to do the E here. Start of autumn season coming up. That is Atlas. That is one of our special clues. I'm going to also highlight, how do I want to do this? Which ones we've actually gotten. All right, 11 down is where? Here it is. It is composed duet, Let's Go Crazy. And that is settled. That is an anagram of let's duet, duet and let's, minus the E, and the go crazy is the anagram indicator. Composed is our definition. Chinese therapy, just short of severe treatment. 12. So 12 is over here. Good freaking luck. I have no idea what's going to go into that last letter. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. We'll figure it out, I think, a little bit closer to the end. 14 is here. Uh, Instrument improperly immured, and I think we're going to have an extra R, and that's going to be medium. Decline, and let's go ahead and copy that here. Decline not established. That's here. Kind of want it to be unset. Yeah, it's sunset minus the S. So this has the extra S in it. That's kind of cool. I like that one. Ditch ruler of Florida, please. Love that. 18. Want that to be doff. So Florida being I don't know. This is a weird one. I don't think it's doff. We have an extra F somewhere in here. But the ruler of Florida, I mean, it's just a weird. Gotta sit up. Gotta sit up. It's a weird bit of wordplay, and I don't like where the Florida is coming into it. All right. 20. Transposed from Mezzopiano Wanderer. That's going to be tramp. Tromp. It's going to be no. Mezzopiano is probably going to be MP. I mean, from could be in the French sense. And so the question is, can transpose just be TR? Because we've already used the extra letter in this. I'm going with tramp. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct, but I think that that is correct, and that's going to be regular. And these are just musical terms, musical abbreviations. Let's see. We're looking at 22, which is where in the grid over here. Treasure briefly elected stateside leaders. Treasure briefly elected stateside leaders. We have no extra letters here. I do not believe we're going to have an extra, that this is going to be part of this. We're still short, just so you know, we're still short Fisher, and I can see where that's going to go. Amir, Ganger, and Irbild. Those are the ones we have left. And I'm pretty sure Amir is going to go here. So if that's the case, that's HOE. That having said, I don't understand how we're going to start a word HOEC from our wordplay here. All right, we're going to come back to that one. Some fossils part with student union. 24. We still have an extra R that needs to come out somewhere. Some fossils part with student union. Kind of want this to be like part being roll, and this is going to actually be OLE with an extra R. And then I guess for student union, we would need some three-letter word for student union. I want it to be SU, but that wouldn't be enough letters. Uh, Olanus is, it looks like that's going to be it. It's a typically Upper Cambrian genus of trilobites. But then Noose, National Union of Students. Okay, there we go. That was very, very British. Olanus, and then that's going to have the extra R. And I did that completely wrong. Sorry about that. There we go. Now we can mark R. 25 is over here. Limit Estonian currency. All right, what is Estonian currency? It is the kroon, assuming that there's probably some other subdivisions of it. Cent is their cent is basically 1/100th of a kroon. So I'm guessing that's going to be it. Cent. I'm trying to figure out if there's a reason how, like, I think stent might be what limited is, or limit. It is not. Yeah, it is another way to spell stint, which is limit. And then that's our T. 3 more down columns to go. Foot it. Foot it flung from horse-drawn carriage. 27 is over here. It's this one right here. We know that it's going to have the extra letter. It's going to have the H. I do not like this. But I'm guessing that this is just simply horse-drawn carriage. And foot it flung from is our wordplay in some way. Try that with a few more crossings. 1 hour before attempt to win round head of lyric. 29. That's ear build. That's our ear build. 1 hour is 1 HR. Attempt to win is BID. Round head of lyric. That gives us the L. All right. Throughout Passion and Mass, missing final couplets. 31 is over here. It still looks like we're missing the clue that has an extra A in it. Throughout Passion and Mass, missing final couplets. I want that to be passim. Yeah, it's passim. So you take off the final couplets, ON and SS here. You get left with passima. We know that there's an extra A in this one, so that's where we get rid of the A in Mass. And then you're left with passim. That's a red clue. Once started, songs ending with a sign of hesitation. So once is usually an indication that we're looking for an archaic term. 32 itself is right here. We know that there's no extra letter in this. However, this could be ganger. Sign of hesitation is ER. Song ending is G. And once started, so that's probably like gan is probably an older way to say began. So that's going to be ganger. I can type. Fur has ruffled Pashtun Council. That is going to be 24. Sorry, 34. That's over here. And I'm guessing that's going to be like, I'm going to say Shura. I'm going to look up the word Shura. I'm not going to look up an anagram of it. I'm just going to look up Shura. And got it. In Afghanistan, a traditional regional or village council. As an anagram of fur has, which has been ruffled here, but we know that we have the extra F. There we go. 35 are English beets continental bread. That's euro. How does that work? I'm guessing it's just simply our E and then beets, so that's our anagram indicator. I don't necessarily like it, but I mean it seems right. Yeah, bread is money, so that's why euro is going to work there. In due course, pawnbroker dropping high class plinth. So that's going to be 36 over here. We still have an extra N that's going to come in somewhere. There's a word for pawnbroker that I forget. I think plinth is going to be our definition here. And in due course, so would probably be so, maybe? Or in due course might be southeast. That's going to give us SE going around there. And then pawnbroker, whatever that is going to drop something for high class. We're still going to have the extra N here because we know that we didn't have it up here for beats. I think I'm going to come back to that one. All right, shopping center brought back Australian wool. I'm pretty sure that's going to be llama, with A just being Australian. Subtly introduced with Beethoven's 6th to ninth is 38 over here. So Beethoven's 6th is O. Its ninth is N. Not sure if this is one of the ones that has an extra that is part of this, part of the theme. I think we're actually pretty caught up with it because I know where Fisher's going to go. We've got Doppel, we've got Ganger, we've got Earbild, we've got Machen, we've got Stott, and we've got Atlas. So we have no more yellow entries other than the ones I haven't just simply put in yet. And I see where they're both going to go. This is not going to be one with an extra letter because we've already gotten the B. So I'm guessing subtly might be our definition. Akila's got this one. Akila, what do you have for the first letter? And I'm guessing it's just a letter change, W. So like, oh, how about woven? How about it is the 6th to ninth letters of Beethoven, which is oven, and then with is just W, so woven. Thank you for that, Akila. 40 is not able to use specialist vocabulary. That is going to be can't. That is a double def. Lied, no good. And I know that you can't see this one. You're going to have to look at the top of the screen. Lied, no good after solo stops halfway. That's going to be over here. And we already have pretty much everything in here. Want it to be song. Yeah, solo stops halfway means that we're going to take solo and get rid of the last two letters. That's SO. No good is NG. NG after so is song. Lied is this German word for song. So that is going to be song. It's a fun, different pronunciation thing. And that is regular. So we know that H is going to come out of here. We know that N is going to come out of the plinth one. I'm going to go ahead and put in the other two that I know are thematic, and that's going to be Amir, and that is going to be Soul, AME, captivates me, ME, with little resistance, so just the letter R to clue resistance. And that is our wordplay only. This is going to be Fisher up here at 21 across. Chiefs struggling to rule, so rule can be R. And then Chiefs struggling is an anagram indicator. So that is Fisher. And those are all 8 clues that we needed. Let's see. Everything else is going to be either an extra letter or in one of the acrosses. It's going to be Henrik Heine, Heinrich, Heine. So one of these clues in 13 or 16 is going to have an extra I. Indian trees bearing money I. So I want this to be alas bearing M to give amlas, and I think those are Indian trees. That's normal. Uh, Not restricted is unpent. One is unit, assumes literary style, pen. So that's going to be where our I is going to get. 16 is over here. 16 is going to be normal. Old livestock being does. Or does. And I want to say it's neatens. Yeah, in fact, this is going to be N. This is going to be swan going down here. And that's going to give us swan song, which is thematic to the puzzle. Let's go ahead and fill that in with blue. That is going to be normal. 2 notes during solely over flat stretches. We know that this is going to have an extra I somewhere in it, so that's probably the I in solo. 2 notes during. I want this to be Janos, because I know Janos is a flat stretch. A Jano is a flat stretch. N. Yeah, 2 notes here is actually going to be La is a note, and then N is also an abbreviation for note. So that's going to be Lanos. And that's Janos. And I think that's kind of a clever way to use 2 notes. Let's see, loudening, coarse, high-pitched sound. That's going to be amping. Coarse is going to be ham, as in ham-handed. And then a ping is a high-pitched sound. Illinois, if you're type of Spanish, monkey about with 0 projection. There's a monkey called a colobus. Col, COL is a projection. O is 0. But I'm not sure how the bus comes into this, unless bus is actually a projection. Also, we have oh no, LOCI might. Okay, I think I see it now. I think about here is a reversal indicator with, and this is going to be fun, with as sub, 0 as O, and Loki being projection. It might also be Subi for with, SUBI, and just Lok. So I'm going to check Subi first, because now I'm saying that and it sounds much better. I'm not saying it under Subi. Lok, no. Low key, maybe? Huh. All right, I'm not quite seeing how to get it, but it's definitely going to be Colobus. Uh, and we know that Huso dropped an E, so that is going to be normal. Okay. Harlequin song or contralto ruined. I guess I want that to be an anagram of like maybe Skogan. It's going to be song AC ruined. Anagram indicator. And Skogan is a popular 16th century jest book said to be the work of John Skogan, reputed to be the court fool for Edward IV. Also, not where we get Jackie Coogan, a much also an old reference for you. This is looking ugly. And that does not have an extra letter in it, so we're going to go ahead and mark that solved. Let's see. Ancient dispatch vessel abandoning Navy, a revelation. So I think Aviso is our dispatch vessel. And yeah, it's going to be, yeah. It's Aviso is the dispatch vessel. Abandoning Navy, a vision. So we're going to take N off of vision, and then this is going to have an extra I in it. American annoys Rosalind over nothing. This is going to be Royals. And I think it's going to be R for Rosalind. I'm not sure why. Over is O, and then nil, RS, I'm sorry. Oh, Roz. Okay, sorry. Delete. Roz, ROS is short for Rosalind. So Roz is going to go around nil, and that's going to give us Royals with the extra N. Okay, self-confidence returns to orchestra. It's fiercely aggressive. We're going to have an extra E in here. So I'm guessing this is ego. And that's going to be band for orchestra. And then bandag would be our answer. Let's find out what a bandag is. Maybe bandog? Yeah, bandog would make sense because it is supposed to be E coming out, not O. An aggressive dog kept or chained or tied up, a cross between an American Pit Bull Terrier and a Mastiff, Rottweiler, or Rhodesian Ridgeback, bred for exceptional ferocity. So that is going to be O there. All right, move with grace. This was just swan. And I think swank is ostentatious, and it's going to lose the last letter as opposed to losing the outside letters. Chinese therapy, just short of severe treatment. I still want, we don't need an R to come out of this, so this is just going to be as is. And I think I'm just going to have to search for this one. I do not know what this word is. Do-in is the only thing I've got here. A form of self-applied, um, yeah, a form of self-applied acupuncture massage originating in China, used preventively and therapeutically. And then I'm guessing doing is severe treatment. That's how we lose that last letter there. So let's get rid of that. Do in. We're cruising right. We're going to finish early. We're going to finish way early. 18. Ditch ruler of Florida. I mean, I'm guessing it's Offa, whatever that might be. No, it's not Offa. That's the only thing in here. Office Dyke. I'm not sure what that is meant to be. Office in here it's Office for Fair Access. A big Dutch in the UK. So ditch, okay. But then ruler of Florida. How does that give us an extra? Like I want. We know that the F is coming from 34 down, so this is going to be a normal clue. I can't imagine that they're listing FA as Florida. That's wrong. I mean, there's no two ways about it. That is actually flat out wrong. So unless I'm missing something of it, something about it. Offa was also a king. See Offa disambiguation. Offa was a king of Mercia. Sorry for the beeping of the. I'm guessing what they're referencing is La Florida, Murcia, Spain. But I mean, I'm having a tough time finding that. Ugh, that's. I don't care if it's in Chambers as Florida. That is not an acceptable abbreviation as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not finding any here as an abbreviation. Like I've got Chambers up and I'm looking under FA and I'm not seeing it. At least there is a La Florida in Murcia, and if Offia was the kingdom, was the kingdom of Murcia, then that's probably how that is clued. But there's no way to abbreviate Florida as FA. There's just not. And plus, that would also ignore ruler here. So I'm guessing that ditch ruler of Florida is like it's a double definition here. Yeah, it's not though. I mean, it's flat out not. Online chambers can say whatever it wants. It's just if you were to send something to FA, good luck. 22. 22 is where? Here we go. Honchos. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Treasure briefly. So treasure could be Hun. Yeah, Hun briefly elected chose. So we're getting rid of the last letter of chose to get Cha, Honchos. So Hun plus chose minus the last letter is Honchos. Foot it, flung from horse-drawn carriage is whatever this is. I don't even know. Paeon. All right. A paeon is a foot of four syllables, any one long, three short. So foot. Foot is our definition. It flung from horse-drawn carriage. I want to say that Pythion maybe is the horse-drawn carriage. I'm going to check here. There's Pantheon, there is Pantaleon, Pancheon. So none of those seem to be working. Unless it's like Phaeton. Okay, there we go. Phaeton with T being. Yeah. Everyone else is finding it. Thanks, Stephen K. Thanks, Arch. So it is pan, which is a type of foot. And that is, let's see, that's the extra H. And then finally, we've got everything else. We've actually got it. We've got Sokol here. And I'm guessing uncle. Uncle is pawnbroker. That's the word I was thinking of earlier. Is uncle. High class is U, so we drop the U. In due course, SO plus NCLE, Sokol being plinth, and is extra. And that should do it. All right. The background of the Schwanen song. Named by its first publisher, Tobias Haslinger, who presumably wished to present it as Schubert's Last Testament, Schwanengesang differs from the earlier Die Schöne Müllerin and Winterreise song cycles by including settings of more than one poet. 7 texts by Ludwig Relswab are followed by 6 by Heinrich Heine. Inclusion of the last song to words by Johann Gabriel Seidel may or may not reflect Schubert's wishes. In any case, all 14 songs were composed in 1828 and the collection was published in 1829, a few months after the composer's death. All right, and I'm not sure what the reference here is. So let's go to listener notes. All right, let me hide the Excel sheets. Okay. And we're looking at 4720. And I'm going to bring up the notes here. Extra letter and word plays of down clues, reading from left to right in grid order, spelled Franz Schubert. Those in across clues gave Heinrich Heine. Thematic entries clued by words sometimes paired were titles minus articles of all the settings of Heine's poems in Schubert's Swanensong, indicated by Swansong. All right, yeah, I think pretty much we got everything here. I'm going to go through and just look for anything that we might not have gotten. That is a horrible thing to think about, but yeah, that seems to be yeah, that's a yeah, neat plus ends. I don't get that one. Uh, Width is C, 0 is O. Lobus was projection, colobus. Everything else seems right. Alias and me. Again, I don't. It's legit, but I don't like it. Alpha, yeah, alpha plus no. Florida is not FA. I don't see. I care what Chamber says. I don't think there's any justification for that. It's like saying Arizona's AA. It's not. All right, that's pretty much it. Oh, tramp. Yeah, let's. Yeah, that's what I thought. So in French phrases, can be of or from. So sometimes you'll see in the listener, if they want an A, they'll just throw of or from in there because that's the legitimate. That's the use of it. But that is it. We knocked this one out. It's 10:30. I'm gonna go party like it's 1999. Uh, Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will be back on Wednesday. So last Wednesday we did the Enigma, we did April 2020, we did the Ralphs, and we did the first part of the regular flats from that issue. This Wednesday we'll do the remaining flats, and then after that I think I'm going to switch to something different. I Somebody suggested a riddle hunt, and we'll probably do that one, just because it's themed about puzzle hunt conventions or traditions. And I now realize that I'm old enough and have been doing this long enough that I'm probably part of the establishment that the youths are warring against, and so I want to see what they think I've established uh, collectively in that case. Anyway, folks, thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all later. Yeah, I'm the man. So apparently. Ciao, everybody.